just touching on Mbappe. So there have been reports that Liverpool are interested.
1 year? Was that 1 year?
Mbappe.
1 year?
I personally didn't read too much into it, you know, what the papers thought. But it would be an interesting concept if PSG allowed him to go on a 1 year loan
In Posse can't.
somewhere.
Would there be a fee?
Yeah, just a loan fee.
But what would the
Just a
what would
loan
the okay? So let's think about it. So let's say PSG said, right, you either if you don't play for us, like if you don't sign, you're not playing for us. He could potentially be like, all right, let me go on loan.
Yeah.
Right. How realistic is it for them to say, right, there's going to be a loan fee of, let's say, like they wanted what 150 million for him?
Yeah.
What was Felix's loan fee?
That was 12 million for 6 months or
For
5 months. Yeah.
Mm.
So let's say 50 million.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Would you say
thinking. I'm
feasible?
thinking 50, 60 in that
Yeah.
And then
For a whole season.
Whole season.
let's say you got to pay half his wages. So that's
Not
what?
possible.
What?
They won't.
What's he
No,
on?
you probably have to pay all of it.
What's
100%.
Yeah, you have to pay all of it.
We ain't
Just
paying
what?
it.
Seven,
Yeah.
what's he on? 700 something
You're,
like that?
remember he's walking.
But the reason
Remember
why
he's
I'm saying
walking at the
half,
end of the
I'm
season.
trying to make this.
So you
As-
lot pay
as-
everything.
Exactly.
No, but what I'm trying to do,
Exactly.
I'm trying to make it as realistic as possible for teams to
That's
to enter the
realistic. If you want him for a season, you pay 50 million. Let's just say 50 million,
And what's he on?
And
600?
Yeah,
600k
yeah,
a
600.
week, 100% of his wages. You can have him for the season. He leaves at the end of the season.
That's
But-
a good deal. That might win you the league and the Champions
Do
League.
you honestly think that's a good
Actually,
deal for
no,
one season?
it wouldn't
Well,
leave
you lot are the
the Champions
Liverpool
League,
guys.
is it
Would you take him?
No, but I'm
100% I would not
expanding
take
this
him.
now. I'm not saying, even though we were linked with him,
Mm.
I'm expanding this now and saying, right, clubs, 50 million, and you got to pay him. Okay, let's say you got to pay £500,000 a week,
Mm.
right? How big is the pool of clubs that be like, right, let's potentially do this for 1
Yeah.
year?
Zero.
But remember,
No.
but
Zero.
remember,
What for it?
it's not.
Zero.
You're not bringing him in on a 4-year deal at 500 bags a week. It's 1 year, 1 season.
Yeah.
So one season. You could put that money to a side and say he could win us the league, the Champions League, the FA. He could win the quadruple, everything. Just with that him in it,
And it's
could
not,
do everything.
It's not for certain that it's 1 year because all right, you can say, oh, he's going Real Madrid or whatever. But if he comes and he falls in love with the club, what's to say he ain't gonna sign
Yeah,
up?
well,
I think-
No, you never know. A couple
You never
years.
know.
A couple
You
years.
never know.
You never know.
You never
So,
know.
T, you're saying Arsenal, as an Arsenal fan.
As an
Monday-
Arsenal
on
fan,
Monday
and
morning, they said-
Mbappe's an Arsenal fan as well.
Is he?
He's an Arsenal fan.
Debatable.
If he had his choice, he's coming Arsenal. That's what he said.
If we
But-
had 80 million or whatever to spare, I would do it.
And I don't think he's gonna come in and mess up the harmony.
What?
I don't think he would. I think he's looking at it like if it was a 1 year, one off, and he's actually saying, "Oh yeah, I'm leaving PSG at the end. Whatever contract's coming in, I'll make my decision at the end of the season." He comes in, he's refreshed. He ain't at PSG no more. He ain't under that. Them mad people saying you got to get out of our club by any means necessary. Like he comes to Arsenal. It's a young, vibrant team. Arteta's there,
Who's holding
and
bench
think
for
you
him?
know what? He's up against Pep, up against City.
Who's holding
playing-
bench for him?
He's on the left.
Who's holding
he
the
goes
bench?
on the left.
Come
He's going
on, you
the
know
left,
who's
isn't he?
holding the
He's going
bench.
on the left.
Wherever he
He's got-
wherever
where
he
two-
plays,
wherever he wants to go,
is
yeah.
who is
Yeah. The other
who is
person's
sitting
holding the
out.
So
bench.
you're telling me Martinelli,
He's
Emil
sitting
Smith
out.
Rowe,
Of course.
and whoever and Trossard, they're all gonna be happy to sit down for a season
Number one, yeah.
and let him.
Number one, I feel like Trossard will play a lot this season because he can play everywhere.
Yeah.
But if he plays on the left, which I think that's where he would play, Martinelli has to hold bench.
As you're coming, you're young, hungry. You've done a season and a bit.
It's Mbappe though, isn't it?
So if he came to Liverpool,
No, but he will
what about
still
Diaz?
play.
Is Diaz gonna hold bench or
He's
you gonna,
holding
no,
that
If
bench.
I'm
you're-
Diaz,
He's
if I'm Diaz,
holding
if
that
I'm
bench.
Martinelli, if I'm not on it. I'm not hearing
You ain't got a
that.
choice. Yeah.
Oh, can I-
You ain't got a choice.
Can I
You're
spin
gonna
this back a
play.
bit? Hold on.
I'm not hearing that.
Because last week you were saying that this player was bigger than certain
So
clubs.
what? What's
So
that
hold
meant to
on.
mean? I'm meant to hold the bench.
So you're
comfortably.
saying that Mbappe can be bigger than Manchester United but can't start over Martinelli?
No, I'm saying.
What am I hearing? What am I hearing?
No, but he's talking about the circumstances.
Yeah,
He's only coming for
don't spin my words like that.
Yeah, put the
I'm
context
saying-
in
I'm
because
saying-
he's only coming for 1 year. He's not got that commitment to the club, and that's
Thank
yeah.
you,
I understand
my guy.
that.
That's
I understand
why
that, yeah.
he would be perfect coming to Arsenal because he actually has a little attachment to Arsenal.
Get
And
out of it. Hold on.
He has the Henri
What am I hearing?
link and the French, he has that. And I swear down to go up against City and play against United and Liverpool and all the other teams, I think he would love to come to the Prem for a season. If it was possible.
I think Man United would be a good option for him if to do that.
Yeah, any of the top clubs.
I don't think
like
their
that.
style of play would suit
And
him.
he's like,
I think if he came to the Prem, I think it would be Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City.
I think he would do
where
madness.
he would
I think
sell
he
the
would
most for
actually
one
be
season.
happy.
It's a quick little.
Mash that up
For
and
him,
then
it's-
my
and then
stock
go-
is rising.
no pressure. It's just like a
through
free
the
hit.
roof.
It's like a free hit. He can just go out and relax and play football and just enjoy
I'm
it.
telling you, same
think
Champions
that-
League football again.
But okay,
This, that.
hold on. Your season's a long time. I'm not happy with you. I'll come back to you. A season's a long time. You're putting your move into Real Madrid in jeopardy every time you step out on that pitch.
But
No,
you do it anyway.
Yeah.
because if PSG said to him tomorrow, all right, forget it, you're staying, all right, cool, and they play him, then what?
That's what I was going to say. It's still in jeopardy at PSG, but I mean the Prem. We know the Prem's hard hitting. The pace, it's a lot harder than Liga.
What he's
Yeah.
used to,
What he's
But
used to.
we all know anything can happen in football. Next season, Real Madrid might not want him,
Yeah, true,
so we don't know, innit?
true.
So that's it. You don't know if Real Madrid at the transfer deadline they come in for Harry Kane. And just do you never know. Like something mad
That's
might
true.
just
That's
actually
true.
happen.
I think it's a viable option. Like say, if it was like a 50 million loan fee, wages, you're looking at what, $500,000 a week over the year, like what, 26, 27 million. So it's like
It's
80
never
million,
gonna.
that's what I'm saying, 80
It's
million.
not
80
ever
million
gonna
package.
make sense to us.
No, it's not.
but an 80 million package for a
80
year
million
for
for
Mbappe is quite desirable.
It's not bad.
Like it's not bad. That's
yeah.
like
But the owners,
Okay,
you got to
but-
have the right owners for that.
Right,
for
yeah,
that
yeah.
package.
You've
There.
got to have the right owners. You've got to have a decent team for him to walk into, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not just gonna. I mean, if he walks into,
Yeah, to make it make sense.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
The parameters, the environment's got to make sense, right? For it to make it. If I'm going to bring him in, I'm not just going to bring him into example. Just for the sake of example, I'm not just going to bring him into Tottenham at the moment because Tottenham are just all over the place, right? So yeah, I feel like you've got to have the right environment for that to be viable.
That's
Don't
what-
get me wrong.
yeah.
Although I'm sitting there saying no, I wouldn't do it. I understand it is a very
Really, realistically, it would be only Champions League.
Yeah,
teams
that's what I was
anyway,
going to
so-
say. Yeah, that's why I'm surprised Liverpool was mentioned. I'm surprised Liverpool was mentioned that because I don't think you would want to go.
Wouldn't really
Well,
go
said,
there.
you do that investment to win the league and the Champions League. So if you're not in the Champions League, I don't think it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't
So
think you
Man
need to do
United,
that to win.
Arsenal, I could see even
And
Newcastle.
Newcastle. What?
No, you
Oh,
never
it-
know.
it's
They
an
got it.
investment.
They got it.
he's not playing with Longstaff. Man.
They got it. They got the bread. All I'm saying is,
PS said they'll basically anyone, the highest bidder.
yeah.
So it'll be down to him.
But back to what you said about who would hold bench. If Mbappe came out tomorrow and said, I want to go to Liverpool, Diaz is holding the bench.
Great question. Great question. Don, what you answer that?
No,
one. Answer that
seriously.
one for
And
me.
you lot had the money
Yeah.
to get him. And he said, which one? They asked him, what team do you want to go to? And he said, Liverpool.
Darwin
You
Núñez
lot
is holding
are
it.
come,
I was just
whoever
about to say that.
it
I was
is.
like,
I
I'm
don't
putting
know.
Mbappe
I'm
in
just
through
saying.
the
I'm
middle.
I'm putting Mbappe as a number 9.
No.
100%.
That's
Ready
fine.
for Real Madrid.
No,
That's
but
fine. No, that's fine. But if he was to play on the left, Diaz is holding the bench.
Ain't Gakpo up top? I thought Gakpo was up top now.
Yeah, but I'd have Mbappe over Gakpo right now.
And over
It's
Diaz.
over everyone.
Yeah.
Diaz has got Diaz
Is
is
Salah
gonna
holding
cook this
the
season.
bench?
You have him over everyone.
Is Salah holding the bench?
No, not with numbers. Not with numbers. Can't hold both with numbers.
If he says, I want to play right wing. Salah's holding.
What happens? Good
Then-
point. Good
He said, I
question.
wanna
then
play right wing.
you put
If you
Salah up top. Then you put Salah up top.
Yeah, you could put Salah up top. But
They're
I'd say
moving Salah, yeah?
You got
Accommodated.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, it's Mbappe, innit? I don't we discussed Mbappe a lot. Like I said, if he went Real Madrid, he wouldn't be the top dog in terms of like status. Like I think Vinny, you weren't here.
This is madness.
No.
Like,
No.
wait,
You wasn't here for that conversation.
No, but we're even talking about Real Madrid.
What's
just-
going on
Vinny
here?
is there.
We're just gonna spin. All right, let me spin it back for Dan.
Oh
right?
my, yeah.
So
Even though I
what
think
we-
he'll go through the middle, but still.
So we were talking about where did he play when he goes to Real Madrid. I was like, you don't move Vinny.
Because he's come out and said
Because-
he wants left wing.
I think you
At
don't
Madrid.
Yeah.
you don't move Vinny
Well, pretty
based
much
on
in
the
general.
credit in the bank that he's got. I was like, if Mbappe goes to Real Madrid, for me, he has to play number 9. Because what do you do with Vinny? And also, I don't. Granted, he in the top echelon of players, but I don't think he goes there and he can automatically say, "I'm the big I am," just because you're Mbappe. I think he's got to put Vinny on par with him when he gets there. That's just my personal opinion. Other people disagreed with me, and it feels like you're going to disagree with me. So I just
I
have your quick
totally
take.
disagree with you. He walks in there and is number 1. There's no number 2.
If he says, I want to
Yeah.
play left wing, he's playing left
So
wing.
Yeah.
even though Vinny's done all he's done over the last few years, you
He's
can
number
say
1.
hold it.
Vinny, you're gonna have to float over to that side or in the
that's
middle or
disrespectful.
number
It's
10 or something.
It's mad. 'Cause he is. If Mbappe goes Real Madrid tomorrow, he has to play in that front three with Vinny, him, and Rodrigo. They have to figure out. They float anywhere they want to go. Whatever they want to do, they have to do.
So you're
But-
thinking it would be more fluid rather than rigid.
It has to be fluid. But I know, like, you see how Mbappe plays. He wants to come in off that left, innit? It's easier for him. It's an easy game when he plays off that left. Cuts in,
All the
bangs up.
space.
He's
Yeah.
calm there.
Skinning
You don't
the left,
really
that
want to
right back
play
for fun.
up top. Like,
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
me? Off the left, you're calm. You're laughing.
I hear you. If you look at his style of play, he likes to get the ball, turn, and either beat a man or just burn past him. And
Trust me.
yeah, I think with teams they've clocked that out, and they'll either drop back and cut out the space behind them, and then make it where he has to now start linking up with players to get that space. But it's tough now, and reason why I put it on the agenda as a discussion, as Madrid is a discussion, because the team that they have now, or the team that they're cooking up with right now, is nuts. It's looking nuts. Where and how does Mbappe fit into that? Because Vinny's pretty much locked down that left wing.
Jude's looking
You
great.
can't.
Jude's looking
You
fantastic.
can't move him.
You can't move him. It's you would have to. The argument you'd have to present to move Vinny would have to be near enough perfect. No flaws in it. The case you're presenting has to be. The reason why I'm putting Mbappe out here is because he's going to guarantee. We're gonna look at. No, he's going to guarantee this many goals, this many assists. Whereas Vinny, XYZ, right?
So the reason why I think he'll go as number 9 is because they got Hosselu on loan.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I think if they were potentially looking to move Vinny, they would do it this season and be like, right, let's get in someone in loan or someone from the youth, whatever, to play left to see and then see how Vinny does up top. But I think because they've only got Hosselu in for a year loan, and Mbappe comes and it's just a straight swap. I think that fits.
What you're saying on paper makes sense. Makes the most sense. It's just what Mbappe wants. Yeah, it makes sense. The space is there for him to be the number 9. The problem is if he comes and says he wants to go on the left. That's the only
But
problem.
I don't think he gets the power at Real Madrid that he gets at PSG. I think that's where like a distinction needs to be made, innit? Like he signed for PSG when he was what?
19.
19? Like the next prodigal French international kind of like that works at PSG, innit? You can go to Real Madrid and still be like, I'm the big guy. But I don't think Perez and them man are gonna be like who have Real Madrid ever bent over backwards for in terms of their players? Like they broke the bank for Figo, because like they knew he would take them to another level. But who's
Ronaldo.
really held?
Ronaldo for years ran that team.
Cristiano, yeah.
But is Mbappe there yet at the age of what Ronaldo went to command that?
I think he commands it earlier.
Yeah.
He commands it earlier when he's
the
World
biggest-
Cups. World
He'll be
Cups
the
in that,
biggest
yeah.
transfer.
The only thing he's not done is
Yeah.
won the Champions
Yeah.
League. And a
Yeah.
Ballon d'Or. That's it.
And he probably will win it now that
Yeah.
Messi and Ronaldo have gone.
So to progress that question further, what happens now when Haaland's contract is up? So let's say they brought Mbappe in. Haaland's contract's up. He's saying I'm going to Madrid. They've now got Vinny, Mbappe, Haaland, Rodrigo.
Depending on what Mbappe does
right.
up until that day comes, if that day comes where they get Mbappe and Haaland,
That's not
they're
fair,
gonna
man.
move Vinny. They're gonna
That's
move
not fair.
Vinny.
They can't
They're gonna
do
move
that,
on Vinny.
They
You
can't
think
do that.
they'll move him on? Wow, okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
But it depends. Though.
Mm.
If he maintains or is equal to Mbappe when Mbappe comes, why move him on?
And go
He
where?
has to
Where
play
would he go?
every game. He has to play every game. He ain't on the bench. He has to play every game.
Mm.
I'm not
I'll
sure
put Mbappe
Haaland's
on the
good.
right and put Haaland up front.
I'm not sure Haaland's going to leave though.
Wait, haven't they
See.
got Endrick coming in as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, next season, end of the season.
This is looking a bit crazy.